We have lived on our farm for 7 years now, and we have done a lot of improvements like the she shed, the man shed. We fixed up this chicken coop so that it looks nice. We painted it red, the white trim, and we put a new roof on it. I built this fence. Up in the hills of our property, the back 15 acres or so, we've built a trail system that we use for hiking and horseback riding. Maybe eventually one day soon we'll have a four-wheeler or side-by-side. Right here is our first horse run-in that has a hay shed attached to it. So that was built maybe 3 years ago. And yes, we made mistakes, and sometimes you gotta take stuff down. In the background, you see a tree house I built. That was one of the first things I built on the property for my daughter. And it's been there for 7 years, and it was out of reclaimed wood. And I just need to tear it down, and I'm gonna redo it. It's still gonna be an area for kids, but I need to work on the demo of that old tree house. We are walking to our mini pig area. They have about a half acre or so where they roam, and they have their own little pig pen. I built them. So that was another improvement we did. We weren't even sure what was going to go there. We just knew that it was going to be an animal pen for something, and it wasn't great for horses, which is the main animal we have. And it turns out we've had goats there. We've had mini donkeys there. And now we have mini pigs here, and it's working out pretty well because it's the perfect area for pigs. They just love it. They can root around. I'm gonna give them some food. Let's check it out. Here's some snacky cakes. There's Mr. E. In the middle there is Rudy or Rooty. And then right here we got Stella Bobella. Hey, Stella. There's Teddy the Corgi. And right here, Gertie. Gertie. Hey, girl. There's Gertie, everybody. Our pit bull, French bulldog. I don't know what she is. She's a mutt. Let's go ahead and feed the pigs. Pigs want cabbage. There you go, piggies. Pig want banana? Rudy, you want banana, buddy? Whoa. Rudy, there's some trained professional people, trained professional. Who wants a tomato? There you go, guys, there you go. Enjoy your snacks, enjoy your snacks. One of the first things we did is we had this little garden fenced in. I wish now we had made it bigger, and I probably will. It has our garden, and also I started beekeeping, and that's where my bees are kept, inside a fenced in section of the garden. And where I'm walking right now, I'm hoping to turn it into an expanded garden, maybe have an underground greenhouse here. Actually, my bees are not that active because it's not that warm right now. There's a few bees flying around, but not much activity today. It's only in the 40s. So we have done a lot of improvements. We've made mistakes, but every year things have gotten easier and easier. And every year we get new dreams, because when you buy a homestead, you don't even realize, I think, all of the fun adventures you're going to have and all of the things you can really do. So every year we get new dreams, which I think is really important. So I gave you a little tour of some of our past improvements. We've also done fencing, gates, worked on the house some. It is hard to film a video when there's a dog pulling you. But I'm going to show you an area where there's going to be a big improvement, hopefully happening in the next week or so. And it's really going to make life for us easier on our farm. It's going to cost us some money, but I think in the end it's going to be worth it. You know, we have horses and we have a donkey right now. That's one of the main reasons we moved to the country, was for the horses. My wife does horse training and horse lessons. Not as much these days with the baby and COVID, but hopefully soon she'll be back at it. Horses eat a lot. They're expensive. There's different ways to feed them. You can do square bales, you can do round bales. Square bales we started out with, and that was easier to handle, but then we got a tractor for round bales. And the nice thing about a round bale, with a slow feed hay net and our hay hut, which I'll show you that in a minute. Let me show you our hay hut and our slow feed system real quick. Okay, so there's the hay hut, and there's our 5 horses and donkey, if you can see them all. And inside that hay hut is our round bale, and it has a slow feed net on it. By doing that system, we only need to change out that hay every 10 to 14 or 15 days. So that's been really helpful for us. So as soon as we got into round bales, we were using our truck to drive really over an hour every 2 weeks or so to get 2 round bales. And it was usually me doing that, and it wasn't that big of a deal because I work about an hour away towards that area. But we'd have to get the hay, we'd have to unload it, and every 2 weeks or so, maybe every 3 weeks, we had to go and get more hay. And we did that for about 3 years. And if you don't know about horse hay, it's not the same as cattle hay. You need good hay for horses. You don't want them to colic. You got to store it properly so it doesn't get moldy. Horses can't have moldy hay. Again, I'm not a horse expert, but I guess I know something. So our friend that grows the hay told us he could sell us 15 bales at once, and he would deliver them to our house, our farm, which is over an hour away from him. So we had to pay an upfront cost for the hay bales, and we decided to do it. We did that in October, and as I'm walking, this wood structure behind us is another newer structure about the last year and a half. This is another run-in shelter for the horses. This is where we're keeping them in the wintertime. And they have a dry lot where their hooves get to stay dry. But at first we had them in the back. So we had 15 bales of hay. We didn't really have a great place to store them. We stored some here. We stored 2 in the barn. And then we have another carport that we stored a few in. But now that the horses are in the front, we can't use the run-in shelter. And my wife and I have been talking. We really need a dedicated hay barn. And the best place is right where I'm standing. So normally we have, this is our horse trailer. So normally we have our horse trailer right where the hay barn is probably going to go. This is one of the flattest places on our property. We live in the mountains. Nothing is flat here unless we make it flat, basically. So this is the big improvement that's going to be happening. Is this area is going to have a 20 by 30, I think it's going to be 12 feet tall hay barn. It's really going to be a carport, but it's going to have sides on the back and both long sides. So it's going to be a place to store hay, which is going to be great for us because that's going to open up other areas that we have been storing hay in. And it's big enough that we'll be able to put a four-wheeler there or a side-by-side, maybe some other equipment, maybe the tractor. But this is going to be a lot of work and a decent amount of money. We need to get this area graveled before the hay barn gets here. So I've been working on cleaning up the area. There's a wood pile I needed to load in the truck. But this is the winter time and it's muddy, which means that we can only get gravel when it's frozen or when it's dry. So we're hoping the next couple days this area is going to dry out, and we have a local neighbor that's going to drop off some gravel for us. And this whole area, basically from the fence to the gate, is going to be gravel, so that we can also park cars down here. The tractor won't get stuck in the mud, and it'll be a nice area. So this is going to be a big improvement to our little farm here. We're pretty excited. It's just another step in making our homestead life better and more fun and easier. And I'm excited that we'll have a place to store an ATV. I'm saving up money for one. I only have a little bit of money saved, but my goal is to maybe save half of the money for a side-by-side or a four-wheeler. But I think I want a side-by-side. And then I'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, kind of a tour of some of our improvements and what's coming in the short-term future at Whistle Thicket.